Hello. Testing out a new microphone setup today, so maybe I sound better? Who knows? We'll find out when someone decides to listen in. Just get my bearings. Where was I? Ah, yes, the map. A few different, not so interesting visually things to do today. Just need to do something. So, that's what it is. What I need to do, really, is I need to do a bit of refactoring before I can do anything else, just to tidy up after getting everything working. Because there's some things that are in the wrong place, and it's going to bug me forever if I don't sort it out. So, this thing is going to go out. There's this stuff here about figuring out which squares or which hexes you can move into is game logic rather than view logic. And so I need to push it down into the view, into the model of the game. So I'll put that here. I mean, this probably is really dumb the way I've done it here. It's just to get an idea of things going on. We're in the model, so I can get rid of those. I need to check if we're using M and hex in here. It's sort of sad that I changed that thing, but it's fine. Talking is weird at the moment. Yeah, just checking the audio level real quick. Okay. Supposedly I am heard, so that's good. I can tweak the audio level if it's a bit loud, but we'll see. So that shouldn't have broken anything. I should still be able to move. Because I'm literally just moving the API around. You crash, that's fine. You move away, and you move back, and you crash. It's a little unintuitive that you can't really plan properly for when you will crash. But I suppose that that's a UI thing that we can sort of... What it should do is, when you hover over a space, show you what your next movement options would be, maybe? Just so you can figure out if you have any chance of crashing or not. Maybe that would be too much help. But it's because direction seems a little bit intuitive at the moment, so I also need to make sure it's clear when you're speeding up and slowing down. For this, I need hello. Let's see. Because what I want is to draw things based on how far I am from the player, so I do really need to pass in the player position. Because then it's... Well, no, it's actually, I need more than that. I need the full player because I need to know how fast the player is currently going to know which the move is going to go first or slower. Hey, werewolf. No worries about lurking. I'm doing all right. It's been a pretty good evening. Made some good food. I'm probably not going to stream for too long today. I just need to do some. So I thought I'd sort of try and settle for doing Tuesdays and Thursdays. We'll see how my schedule plays out over the next week or two. So I've got this actor. Thanks. If the actor speed is less than red is generally the go faster color, right? That's how that works. So I mean, that comment won't make much sense until I finish doing what I'm doing here, but yeah, because okay, so for the first bit of this, these will do the same thing, so that shouldn't again have broken anything. Yeah. It did break something. All right. Most likely, it's just that I used the wrong thing for the should be distance. Oh, no. Yeah, so that should be the same. So I need to very quickly fire up a sprite, sprite, a sprite, one of those, and take this to 128. Give it a nice fill color. And then save this. Select medium. And then this one. This one. Medium. Select slow. Oh, did I do I've done the thing wrong. I don't remember which one of these I'm actually using at the moment. Oh no, I think it is this one, isn't it? Because I've looked it up already. I suppose we'll find out. So if they're the same, I can do medium. If I'm going to get slower, then I'm going to do this really fast, and we do that. Promising. Oh, these are going the other way. Interesting. Interesting. I mean, that actually looks quite nice, but that's still unusual. I was expecting it to go in reverse. Did I name them wrong? I think so. Oh, it is because I just mixed up the sign here. That should be that way around. Basically, what I was doing was I was saying if the distance that you're gonna move was less. So what's it saying? If your current speed is less than that distance, then so you'd be speeding up. So yeah, it's the other way around. Because then there's a red because you speed up. There's although I don't like that it uses red like that because then maybe it doesn't look so good. I think I also need to be more lenient at a slower speed, because you should be able to steer much better at slow speeds. That's cool. I'm happy with that. That's a thing. All right. Just gonna... I suppose I'm crashing here now. Boof. Okay. No, I think I actually kind of want to flip the colors. Maybe red should be the slowdown. Not sure. Ooh, that's a thought. If you do it that way around, then you get this darkening of... that's actually quite good. Kind of wasn't expecting that to work. I mean, it's not perfect because of stupid misalignment reasons, but good enough. Good enough. I will take it. I'm not making it pretty right now. So. I'm going to just change how that works very slightly on the action crash detection. This will probably do something a bit weird. Let's see. Yeah, I wanted to, so I've put more colors in so that I can tell when you're speeding up and slowing down, because it was quite unclear and it made planning movement quite difficult. So I just hacked together extra colors so you can tell if we're going to go faster or slower by selecting a particular space, especially because with the rotation, it stops being so obvious occasionally. I'll show you. So here it's fairly clear because you've kind of got this line. stuff, but as you rotate, the number of available spaces starts to change a bit. So. And then I was just experimenting with what happens when you try and slow down as you approach a wall. And I was finding it quite difficult to actually steer around the corner here. Okay, so the speed here is 3. So if I slow down to 2 here, it might have said before that I would crash, I'm not sure. But I suppose I need to really reset this and go this way. Yeah, because before that would have just crashed completely, and I think it's a bit too harsh. If you basically can get down to a speed of 1, I think you've taken enough of a penalty. So it should kind of just let you carry on, maybe. Yeah, it's... do you think that adding stuff which makes your life easier is also a good addition for the player? I mean, this in particular isn't a thing for me necessarily, unless like I'm thinking as a player when I'm suggesting this idea of having the different colors. But there are certain things that you do find during game development where they are good for the player as well as the developer. I mean, we owe a whole bunch of stuff to the fact that Doom and Quake contained level editors. So there's clearly debug, and that like in Minecraft, with the Java edition having its debug view, that would be a useful thing to give to the player generally. And I'm kind of sad. Well, no, they do kind of retain bits of it in Bedrock. I think about it, but yeah, it varies. But I wanted to do more UI stuff here at some point. It just bothered me enough now to hack it in real quick. And in doing so, it gives me more visibility about how the game is going to behave when people try and use it. And then try and head things off. Just, yeah, so I will crash here regardless. But there are the tricky bit with this sort of thing is how much extra UI stuff do you add before you've made the game too easy. Because one of the things I was thinking about here was, what if you were to show the path of the next move based on your speed? So selecting this would ghost another one down here somewhere or something. But that might be too much of a helping hand for the player. I don't know. But then some of those things are good accessibility-wise, so it's tricky. To be honest, I've done a bad thing here, which is that you should never rely solely on color to indicate stuff. But I'm just doing this for debugging. It probably won't. Like, if I was shipping this professionally, I'd probably change it. I don't know if I'll do that. So that was that. Snapshot on that one. When you get a chance, Werewolf, how do I sound today? I'm using a different microphone, so. Yeah, you're right. It is important, I think, that we cater more for accessibility in games. I'd like to do that much more when I'm making a reasonably sizable project. Most of my stuff is too small and too rushed to be able to work for that properly, but it is something I care about quite a bit, and there are things that I've implemented for Dome specifically to help with that to some degree. I've got a little library somewhere that will simulate colorblindness, for example, and different forms of colorblindness so that you can see how your game looks for different issues of colorblindness. And things like that. So, I mean, it's not baked into the engine properly yet, because I'm not sure if that's a universally helpful thing, especially since there was some game that shipped with that as its colorblind mode, which was a huge mistake. So I don't know if I want to cause that intentionally, but it's possible to cater for that sort of thing with those sorts of features. Yeah, what was I thinking about doing? Yes. It's you need to be able to change the color palette for different people. So having a few different options is usually the way to solve that one. And as well as having bits of the UI that aren't color based. So using symbols that are distinct or having textual output of something. So I'd probably want like a hover tooltip that says, at this move, your speed will be this size, and whatever. But you want a multifaceted approach to that sort of user interface design. Yeah. Okay. My brain is totally off today. What the hell? That's true. If you can get away with that is true. I wonder how that looks when you've got monochrome color blindness. But otherwise, yeah, red, blue and orange do work quite well like that. So you have to tailor the approach to the kind of game that you're making as well. And as you said, provide the option for things. I think that there are some games that rely very heavily on color, but there are symbol-based modes for them. There's a great Game Maker's Toolkit series on this stuff, which is where I picked up a lot of this from. So I had the model. Did I need to change anything here, or is this sufficiently correct? Right, so what I wanted to do was take this little bit here that I'd done in the move logic and replace it with the same logic we use for calculating moves otherwise. Oh, that's fantastic. I'm glad that the new microphone is better. Yeah, because I realized that I was using the microphone in my MacBook on the previous stream, so you were probably hearing a lot of clattering from me typing. But I have this fairly pleasant directional microphone that I couldn't use for ages. But I've got an adapter for it now, and so I can plug it into my MacBook, and here we are. Hopefully I'll sound a lot better. I'll give it a listen on the stream recording when I'm done. But thank you for checking that for me. Right, so what I wanted to do here was go in, calculate 5 moves. Oh, but you have to pass in an actor, and that's, I suppose you have already got that, so we just do that now. Well, yeah, I mean, you'll still hear some. It's not a perfect microphone, but it is definitely better quality, I think, than the one that would be inside my MacBook. I don't trust Apple to make good sound hardware, so um, yeah. I've not had good luck generally with speakers and stuff in previous MacBooks and in this MacBook behaving correctly. So yeah, like so for a bit of context, the machine that I use for my day-to-day stuff is my work machine. It was provided by my work, but they don't mind me using it for other things. And this I had to get it repaired because at some point the sound card went mad and just pounded a bunch of audio through one side of the speakers and blew it out the speakers entirely. So I had to get it repaired. And then about 6 months ago now, the repaired version did the same thing. So my speakers are pretty terrible on this machine, which is why I never use them. I don't understand how they could ship something like that. I mean, it's like completely random. It would do other things as well. Like it would just sort of some loud sound would happen on a video I was watching or something, and then it would just sound like the speakers were underwater for ages until you either rebooted the machine or killed the audio process. Yeah, it was bizarre. Um, so I pretty much exclusively use this machine with headphones now when I'm listening to things because I don't trust them to make good audio stuff. But also I don't even know where the microphone is on this keyboard on the MacBook. It's probably on one of the speakers. Which would explain a lot, to be honest. But anyway, so yes, better audio going forward, hopefully. I didn't want to get a headset because they're hefty and I already have headphones, so extra microphone will do. I'm not planning to invest too much into streaming, at least to start with. So using what I have to hand. Anyway, that was a lot of rambling right there. Hopefully that achieves the same effect for minimal effort. So if I do that one, then I can still go that way. But then you crash there. Yeah, that works. Cool. So that's a nice thing. I'm glad I could do that now. That was some refactoring I wanted to do on the previous stream, but didn't really have the option to. Just be thankful I don't have a mechanical keyboard, otherwise that would probably sound much harder. Okay, so if you right. Yeah, I mean, I'd appreciate any advice or any tips. If there are things that I'm doing that are making it unpleasant to watch or um, could be easily rectified, anything like that, I'm happy to take advice on. I've not really done much of this, and I don't know what people will want from watching me do stuff. If anything, they might just want to see me sit here and stare at the camera and talk. Who knows? That's probably going to be less interesting though, so I should probably do something. Okay, so what I wanted to do was some sort of start line, finish line thing. Really a finish line. I don't care so much about a starting line because you can start anywhere on the map, really. I guess we can kind of check that as well by just going over here and saying that broke it. Oh, I moved the. Oh, I must have done that wrong. Hold on. It's because I used the wrong mod. That. Oh yeah, background music would be a thing that you could use, isn't it? Because although yes, you do you do need to be careful that it's copyright free. That's true. I was just listening to a podcast where someone was explaining that they'd used well-known music and it just nuked the replayability of their stream because Twitch mutes it and YouTube mutes it. So that is a very valid point. And I suppose you can set up OBS so that it'll play that without me having to hear it, maybe? Not sure about that one. I have to have a look. But if background music is helpful for people, then you can do that. I normally, when I really want to get in the zone, I listen to like old chiptune stuff, but that would probably get DMCA'd really quick. Oh, okay. I'll have to have a look and, well, have a listen and see what they sound like and then go from there. Yeah, I'm not really planning to make any money out of this, so that's not going to be too much of an issue. What's it complaining about? So the problem I'm trying to tackle right now is that I want to basically center the camera on wherever the player is at the start of the race or whatever, rather than just fixing to the center of the screen. But the way to get there is a bit of a hassle. Another point of improvement, setting a schedule. Yeah, I have put a little schedule on my stream now because I am sort of expecting to do Tuesdays and Thursdays, at least for the next couple of weeks. We'll see how it goes if I can sustain that. Try and hold myself to that as well. So yes, you're right. Consistency is good. And if people know when to tune in, they'll tune in at that time. But I appreciate having a very small number of people watching at the moment, just so I can get my bearings on things. Oh, it's because I'm doing something weird here. Actually, I've got no idea what's happening. That's not actually set anywhere, so that's concerning. Oh, I think I know what the problem is. Next pixel. Model.player.pose. Last point of advice, definitely the most difficult. Don't stress the metrics. Viewers are fickle, followers follow dozens of people, and yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm not really too concerned about numbers of things. As I said, I'm doing this just so that I have something to do more than anything else, and just a reason to talk out loud for a bit. Since I'm going to be home alone, that's the reason my schedule is the way it is that my partner is out of the house for 3 days a week, so I need someone to talk to, otherwise I'm just going to be here talking to nobody for pretty much the whole day. Just terrifying. That didn't work. Okay, I have no idea how to shift this thing. Thanks. Nope. Let me change. I've clearly broken something weird here. Sorry, I'm having a bit of a brain freezing moment. Right, so that's 0, and I moved it 4 spaces that way. But I need the camera to center over there rather than when it's done at the moment. So confused. Where is this bit coming from? I have to go look this up because did I just mean to put this in? Like that? Must have just interpreted that way. Okay. So then, right, that, no, that doesn't make sense. Yeah, what you'd do is basically then take the layout of the model.lay.position. Oh, I've somehow totally messed that up. Okay. Still not fixed it, but yeah. I need to know how far off I am from the center. Okay, we are getting closer. I'm sort of half guessing, half actually making it to where I meant to go. Interesting thing here, though. That will shift me up to... Oh, there we go. I think I got it. Yeah. Ooh, that was good. Nope, that was fine. Cool, there we go. That was a bit of a weird thing. Translating between screen and hex coordinates really does hurt my brain. Okay, nice. Because now I can move the player around to say 12th for fun. Yeah. The idea being that you'd sort of say you start the race over here and then you go somewhere. Then I need to basically do a finish line. And the tricky thing about doing a finish line on a hex grid is that certain angles are not possible. Because you could have the line that is like a straight hex set of lines like this. Or you could try and follow the sign of movement, so you then do like alternating offset ones. But my first inclination is to make it a line because I've got algorithms that will kind of do that already. Not a ton, a little bit, but not much of it is directly applicable to what I'm doing here, I think. And while there are things I'd love to look up, it doesn't look like there's that many details about how they work. I had a lot of interest in how AI is going to work, and I don't think I can implement that sensibly here. Yeah. I probably should do more research. I just don't have, like, if it's a gameplay research, like I've played a few racing games in the past, so I've played a bit. I know how they play at least, but how they are implemented is something else. Yeah, but that's the thinking, is that it should be difficult to turn at high speed in this, and I think I've kind of made that possible. Because the further away you go, the less you can actually steer. But as you slow down, you should be able to steer much faster and like that in the little circles. But then as you speed up, your overall speed changes a thing. And I was thinking quite hard about how that was going to work in the run up to the into the jam. So it makes sense. It's partially based on, there's like a paper and pencil game called Racing that does this with a square grid, or something similar to it with a square grid. So it's based on that. Because I was trying to figure out how do I make racing into a board game, basically. And I think that I think I've achieved that. I think I've got that sort of mechanic working. There's a lot of technical implementation things that I'm worrying about though. Yeah, like turning here, like this sort of thing is easy because you can literally do full loops in a few turns, but you're wasting loads of time doing that. Whereas if you wanted to speed up, then you start having to sacrifice that flexibility. Plus, to avoid crashing, you will have to slow down as well. So I think that it gets the right feel for like you feel like you're moving a car or a go-kart around doing this, because I do so far. Which is about all you can really ask for to make the player feel like the thing you're trying to make them do. I could do some checks on that at some point. Okay, yeah, so I'm trying to figure out how to do the finish line of a race, because you kind of, it probably, the easy thing to do would be to align it to the hex grid. So you say, like, from here down to here is your finish line, and once you cross it, then the race ends for you, I guess. And it would have to be when you touch those tiles, it would treat it as done. Trying to figure out if you've gone over that line might be difficult. Well, they're not too bad because I've got the interpolation stuff, so it's not impossible if you have to. I suppose for racing, it's who touches the line first, isn't it? I might have to go look up how Formula 1 works. It's going to be an odd detour in my Airstream. It's quite bad. It's been a long time. My computer is crashing. More reasons to hate Apple software. Okay, so you've got the finish line here, but do you touch it? Yeah, no, it's not even Google. I've been having a lot of problems with Windows on my Mac just locking up completely. Ever since I upgraded to Catalina, I've had a bunch of different problems with it. It feels like the whole system got so much slower. Because it shouldn't struggle with that, you know? I can't find. Everyone keeps saying cross the line, but I can't tell if that means like just got to it or gone over the end of it. You know? It's fine. It doesn't matter that much. I think that what I will do is just steal the rule as it's implemented in Redline and say once you touch the line, then you win. Because that's totally realistic. Totally. So, the model needs to have in it, well, it's the map, isn't it? The map needs to have in it some stuff. So I really need to go over here to where I'm creating the map. And then let's say that it's at 0.14. Axial 0, don't know. And gives you 6 hexes. Like that. And very quickly, go and grab the road tile. And make a really terrible finish line. Actually, so a mistake, not really a mistake, but an implication of doing a pixel art hex-based game is that I'm going to have to make 6 sprites for pretty much anything that is directional. Ooh, that's too big. So if I want an actual finish line, which sort of ends up like that. Then I'm going to have to do this 6 times. Well, depending on what you do, it could be 3, but because this could be. Oh, but I've done that. That's no, those aren't good lines because I want them to be parallel to these. Like that. They're too distant. Like that. Okay. Because then you can do that. And then that. Sort of kind of botched it a little bit. Not happy with that at all. Just take that out and do it again. So and then probably take the ones next to it, so it'll be like that. And then like that. Like that. And then like that. And then that one comes in there. Like that. And finally, the last line will be that one. Good enough. And then I suppose if I really want to do checkers, I've done it wrong anyway, but yeah, that's not going to work. Oh well. I don't need to put that much into it. I want to do a proper art stream at another time when... Yeah, that's another way of fixing this problem. That is the right orientation, because the idea is that you're crossing like that, so you need to go over these lines. It's just that I've put them in the wrong place. I should really put them in the center and then symmetrically bring them out. It's fine, they're good enough for now. So save that, head over to the hex renderer. None of these images are really final anyway. No, I called it finished, didn't I? Okay. I guess I just didn't end up on there at all. Ah, it's because I got the number wrong. And this is why magic numbers are bad. Ew. That's not where they're meant to be. Should be. That to that. Okay, so yeah, I need to change how the art for those is done, which will make it easier to redo the art properly. But that would be where your finish line is. So software engineer, magician. I mean, I'm not sure if you've looked at my Twitter at all, but the description does say that I am a tech mage, so as far as I'm concerned, we do magic every day. It is sufficiently advanced. Yeah. Looking at hexagons on a pixel-based screen is really weird, actually. Because when I look over here, it doesn't look like this line is sort of in the same direction as the way that I'm moving. Which is bizarre. Right. And then when we move, we should be checking if there's a straight path between them. So we say, it was a valid move, you managed to move, but we now need to check. Did we cross the finish line? This is to stop line. Next stop pause and destination. And then I need to go for X in path. Game dot map dot get X dot type equals 1. If that happened, then we can create a little finish event. And it would only need the actor that did the finishing. Let me break out the loop at that point. So then I have to go up here and say, I used a finish event. Great. Then go to events. I made a finish event. So then over in the view, this uses a finish event. No, not that one. There is a whole lot of command pattern going on in this code base, which leads to certain bits of repetition like that as you propagate a change all the way through the chain. Because then you need to handle the finish event, the finish animation. So I need to make a finish animation real quick, which is going to be I probably should move the animations out into a separate file, but I can't be bothered at the moment. I probably should handle the case at some point of crossing the finish line and then crashing, because I think that could be quite spectacular. But not important right now. So So the vehicles need to know if they have finished or not. Because if they finish the race, then we don't want to keep asking them to move. Enter as a vehicle. And enter is finished. Then we just go to the next tab. That could potentially leave us looping forever, but so what yeah, that's the thing as well. I need to go to the model and actually import the vehicle. Like that. So what I would expect is that I will move around, and then only after I've gone over the line, it'll show me, hopefully, that I finished, and then I won't be able to do anything else. I should just stop dead. Vroom, vroom. But the animation finishes, and I've done no other handling. But otherwise, I did just finish a race. So that's hilarious. Oh, but it needs to not. Well, I suppose that doesn't matter that much. But yeah, so there's obviously no handling in the view about the game state being finished, but that's a gist of what you want that to do, and that was actually quite trivial to set up. So yeah, I'm gonna call it here. That was productive, just about. And then let me just close this and check up on this stuff. The basic finish line, that's ugly. Yeah. So that's going to be it for the evening. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I expect to stream next Tuesday evening. I don't know where you are in the world, but for me it is Thursday at the moment. So yeah, I'll be back on Tuesday. I'll probably have done more work on this in the meantime, but there's nothing I can do about that. But no, it was good. I think we got through some good stuff. So, oh, hey, Draenil? Drendil? Sorry, I'm butchering your name now. Thank you so much. Thank you for hanging out. And see you all later. Bye.